Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, and it is literally 2 in the morning as I am recording this video. I usually am not up this late, but got a notification on my phone from the Palworld Twitter account, and this is the most transparent as far as a post directly from their social accounts that I've seen about this lawsuit. And unfortunately, some major changes are being made to the game, at least ones that I would deem to be major. And given how this tweet is worded out and given just everything going on, I think this is one that's actually going to really upset people at Nintendo particularly. And directly, I mean, if you weren't already upset at them, and unless you are the most hardcore of hardcore Nintendo fanboys, you should be upset about this. But the official Palworld Twitter account tweeted out regarding the lawsuit changes to Palworld and the future. We would like to express our sincere gratitude and appreciation for the continued support of our fans over the last few months. We apologize for not being able to share as much information as we would like, but we trust our fans to understand how difficult it is to be fully transparent while litigation is ongoing. Currently, we remain involved in prolonged legal proceedings regarding alleged patent infringement. We continue to dispute these claims and assert the invalidity of the patents in question. However, we have had to make certain compromises in order to avoid disruptions to the development and distribution of Palworld. On November 30th, 2024, we released patch VO.3.11 for Palworld. This patch removed the ability to summon pals by throwing pal spheres and instead changed it to a static summon next to the player. Several other game mechanics were also changed with this patch. As many have speculated, these changes were indeed a result of the ongoing litigation. Everyone here at Pocket Pair was disappointed that this adjustment had to be made, and we fully understand that many players feel the same frustration. Unfortunately, as the alternative would have led to even a greater deterioration of the gameplay experience for players, it was determined that this change was necessary. Here's where the really bad news comes forth. Furthermore, we regret to inform our players that with the implementation of patch V0.5.5, we must make yet another compromise. From this patch onward, gliding will be performed using a glider rather than with pals. Pals in the player's team will still provide passive buffs to gliding, but players will now need to have a glider in their inventory in order to glide. We understand that this will be disappointing for many, just as it is us, but we hope our fans understand that these changes are necessary in order to prevent further disruptions to the development of Palworld. We also want to extend our apologies to our fans for the discomfort and concern in this ongoing litigation has caused. We remain committed to developing Palworld and delivering exciting new content to our fans. On behalf of everyone at Pocket Pair and Team Palworld, thank you again for your continued support. Can we just call out how scummy Nintendo is? I mean, we've done this over and over again, but when you see something like this, where gameplay fundamentals are actually being changed, what is this accomplishing, Nintendo? You're causing a bigger issue for Palworld. You are still going to make money hand over fist. You are going to make an endless pit of money with the Nintendo Switch 2. You are going to sell your game key cards. You are going to make a killing off Pokemon. None of this is going to change. This is with the success of Palworld, without the success of Palworld, they're gonna make money hand over fist, and it's just unfortunate. And again, for those of you that do not understand the gravitas of something like this, it is not just about this one situation in a vacuum. You have to understand that this whole lawsuit, this whole process is going to have rippling effects in gaming for decades. Long after I'm gone, long after you're gone, this will have ramifications depending on how it's turned out. And some of you guys might think that is hyperbole. No, that they are literally showcasing how they can utilize patent laws to deter the development of a game. Whenever they felt threatened, because that's where this really happens. It's not because of the Mon designs. It's not because of this gameplay mechanic, that gameplay mechanic. I'm sure the Mon designs didn't help, but what was really the tipping point for Palworld is the fact that this game was viewed as an actual threat by Nintendo. Whether or not you want to say that this game should be viewed as a threat, that is your prerogative. I don't think it should be viewed as a threat. Look, I think Nintendo has proved over and over again that they are going to make money despite whatever they do. Unless they drop another Wii U, I don't think there's much they could do to really push people away. And we'll see it with the Switch 2. I think the Switch 2 is going to sell incredibly well. I think whatever they do with Pokemon, I think Z to A, all that nonsense, everything everything. They are going to make an absurd amount of money. So when you have a studio like Pocket Pair that did drop a banger, that did have a new formula, that did do something different with the collecting aspect to it, but at the same time, it is such a different game to Pokemon that we are going after this game. Not for the Mon designs, because you can't do that, but for gameplay fundamentals. Ask yourself this: does Palworld actually do you view Palworld as doing something from a gameplay fundamental standpoint that makes it breathing down Pokemon's neck? Is it doing something that it's taking the Pokemon formula from a gameplay fundamental standpoint and making it better? It is not! It's a totally different game! So them going after it from a gameplay patent standpoint is insanity, because there are so many games that much more directly resemble Pokemon. There's Nexomon out there, there's the Digimon games out there. That is more in line with what Pokemon does from a gameplay standpoint. But no, we have to go after Palworld, because why? Because we actually view it as a threat. Do not let that get lost on you. And what happens when this studio has a patent in place and they view another title as a threat, and all of a sudden they could go and do something? And it's not about winning the lawsuit. I'm sure that they would love to win the lawsuit. However, making things as hard as possible for Pocket Pair, making sure that the game sees more and more hurdles that they have to go through. That's what this is all about. And Nintendo has a truckload, a dumpster of money that they could do whatever, and they could keep this on going. And whenever you're talking about legal situations, especially when you're talking about Pocket Pair, an indie studio that, yeah, they sold a lot of copies of Palworld, but at the end of the day, it's a drop in the bucket to the conglomerate and the magnitude of Nintendo. You are fighting a juggernaut. You are fighting a behemoth, and even if ultimately you come out on the other side with a W, you are still going through a significant hurdle. And I hope everybody, and I'm pretty sure everybody that's watching my videos understands the ramifications of this, but it's something I wish that people would just rally behind Pocket Pair in even greater droves. And I wish that something like this would actually impact Nintendo Switch 2 sales and how Nintendo does, but we all know that's not going to happen. There's this contingent of Nintendo fans that are hardcore, and I get it. Yo, I like the Switch. I can appreciate a lot of the Nintendo games. Nintendo games aren't really up my alley. Even these days with Pokemon, I'm not really into it. Mario, Zelda. Like, I appreciated them. I get why people like them. They're just not my cup of tea anymore, and I have some opinions on Nintendo games that honestly might get me a little bit under fire, but nevertheless, that's my own personal opinion. However, with this, I really think people have to assess it from the standpoint of how consequential it could be for the long-term aspects of gaming, which I think people assess it in a vacuum, and that's fine, and even assessing it in a vacuum, people are upset about it, but I really want you guys to understand how this can have long-term ripple effects in in all of the angles of gaming, not just in this scenario specifically. But that'll do it for me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Sorry for this thrown together video. I'm recording at 2 a.m. and want to get this out. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.